welcome back to my channel. So in this video I want to talk about how we can propagate orchids which do produce keikis from the sides of the canes or from the nodes. So here I have a Dendrobium nobile orchid. This is my Dendrobium the one that has a peachy color, how was called, Dendrobium Oriental Smile Fantasy. Yeah, that is the one. So by accident I broke off a cane, and we can see that was about 2 weeks ago. So now we can see that it is growing a new growth from here and another one from this node, and most probably more will come. Now all you need to do it is to find a container that fits the size of your cane, and put some moist moss on the bottom. You can use green moss or dried one. This time I had the dried version, and it's not a good quality either because it's quite it came in very small in a very small size, let's say. It's quite chopped off, and yeah, what I am doing it is keeping this moss constantly moist. Now it is soggy, but by tomorrow it will be only moist, and because I just put this orchid here. Yeah, so you can, if your orchid has leaves, you can foliar feed her, because Dendrobium nobiles and Catasetums. Oh, by the way, you can propagate orchids through this method. Not only Dendrobiums, but also Catasetums and any type of orchid that can produce side keikis. So in my case I will use this Dendrobium nobile, and I will foliar feed it during the day with a light spray of I think I will use fish mix, because that has auxins which will promote new growths and roots. Yeah, so this is a very easy method to use, and it's yeah, my orchid just fell off and it broke by accident, so I didn't do this on purpose, but it doesn't really matter. I think this will work really well, and I will do a lot of updates on it. What I am expecting it is that soon these nodes will transform in new growths and or keikis, and in about 1 month the leaves will unfold, and just after that they will start to produce roots, and they will start to grow upwards, and when the roots will be about 10 centimeters long or even less, I will just remove them and throw up the cane. But for now this is what I would use. You can see it is very ventilated, because we don't want to make the cane to rot. And also what I'm trying to do it is to make this side where it broke. By the way, the wound is all healed up, so you don't want to put it in a very soggy environment, because then the wound or that part can get infected. So we are trying to prevent that. And here I have another case. This is a similar orchid with the previous one in color. It is a Dendrobium Yasuko Sugiyama March. Now I have received this orchid about 2 years ago from Equagenera, and unfortunately the orchid was not healthy, and last year it did produce some roots, but unfortunately the only root healthy that he had, and it was branching. I managed to cut it off by mistake, but that is that. So I put again the orchid in a very bad situation, and now I have a basal growth in here, which by the way the orchid is rootless, but just now it is starting to produce some little roots. So I will just leave it there with some moss on top, and it also tried to produce some keikis. At the first I thought they might be actually blooms, because this orchid did receive sort of a winter rest, because in the winter it was cooler, and because the orchid is rootless it didn't receive moisture and fertilizer, which in Dendrobium nobile terms would mean a winter rest. but then it did produce these two keikis. Now what happened, it is that they tried to produce a root system, but the roots were not growing fast enough, and I think they were about to dry, to be quite honest. They were looking quite poor a week ago. So now I want to show you what I did. I have here some moist moss. I put some foil, alimentar foil, the transparent one that you use for food, and I make sure it stays stable with the use of an elastic. Now I want to remove it for a bit. This keiki a week ago was this tiny and with very poor roots. Now let's show you what it is now. I didn't check it either, but I did peel it off a bit just to see what is happening in there. So let's see how it is now. Oh, we can see we have a pretty good root in here. Okay, and the first time I only put a little bit of moss because I thought I was afraid that the cane won't rot, but then I saw that it was drying up too fast, and even though I would water it daily, the moss would dry too fast. So then I have decided to put more moss and the foil, and I have here some fishing line, so I will try to take it out. Okay, I was not expecting these roots to grow so much. They are quite long. When I have put initially the moss, they were about this long. You can actually see that this root here did produce another root because at some point it was drying up. So yeah, that is quite nice. Let's try to remove it all of it. And the cane is not starting to rot. It's doing good, even though we had moss and the foil. So I kept it really moist all the time in the past week, or I think it might actually be 10 days. I'm sorry I didn't record it, the actual moment. We can see that the bigger keiki is doing a lot better. This one is growing a bit slower. It has less roots actually. And I think I managed to broke its root tip, which, oh no, I think it's good. It's only just starting to grow again, this root tip. Yeah, so they are doing pretty good. I could remove this keiki at this point, but I don't want to. I want the roots to let them grow a bit more, because anyway I will keep the moss for the other one. That one is too small yet. So I will put the moss back, I will put the foil back, and I will come back. Okay guys, so I have attached the elastic back. Now of course the mother plant doesn't even have as many roots as the keikis, and you can see that the method of propagation is successful, especially when you want to make sure that you will save at least the keikis, if not the mother plant, because at the point when I have put the moss, that keiki that is growing now at the base was quite it was presenting a stunted growth, and it was not producing roots. It was growing very slow. So I think that at that point I did try to save the mother plant through keikis. Otherwise I would not have taken so drastic measures, because of course we do know that there is a risk of rotting So I made sure I have removed all the dried sheets, and we can see that the method was indeed successful. I might actually take you along when I have when I will decide to remove the keikis. That might be in about 1 more month. And yeah, I think I will put them together with the mother plant, and finally maybe in a few years I will see it blooming, because I am waiting for Dendrobium nobile, which is usually a very hardy orchid, but this particular orchid was not. Either it is sick of some sort of any disease, maybe fusarium, who knows, or it was just very stressed because it moved from a continent to a completely different one. So yeah guys, if you have any questions, if you ever done this, please leave them in the comment section below. I am really curious to see your or to hear your stories. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye.